Silicon Valley, technology, art, green, and sustainability.
Hi, welcome to another episode of Silicon Valley Tech, Art, Green, and Sustainability, SVTAGS. Tonight, I'm very honored to have with me a gal that has a plethora of things you've done and places you've lived, I just found out. So, Esmee St James, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me on the show, Heather. I'm very honored to be here.
Yeah, so before we go into what you're doing now, let's talk about your background. Tell us where you're from.
Sure.
I just found out that I had no idea that you grew up where you grew up, so tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm a Dutch girl. I was born in Holland, lived there for about 10 years, and my mom was from Paris, so French was my first language.
Wow, that's amazing.
And so was style, I guess. I don't know. She was a very, very elegant woman. Then we moved to the US, and I spent many years in Canada, and well, voila, here I am.
What did your mom do?
She was a housewife. She studied photojournalism and interior design, and then she met my dad, and yeah.
Is she still here?
No, they both passed in 2015.
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
What did they move here for?
Well,
And you were young then?
yeah, I was not. They moved here initially when they met in the U.S. Believe it or not.
Okay.
Yeah. My mom was studying at SMU, and my dad was went to the U.S. Army, and then he was a photojournalist, and he wanted to meet some European girls. So he pretended he had to do a story on foreign students, and so he went to this sorority, and there was my mom, and they fell in love.
A sorority there in
Dallas,
Paris,
Texas,
okay,
at Southern Methodist University.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
But then they moved back. They moved a lot.
How old were you when you moved here then?
I was 8.
You were 8.
Moved to New York.
Okay, so you really did, and of course in Europe, you have to learn several languages because you're on the border of so many different places, but they always teach English usually too.
Not when you're 8 years old.
Okay.
That starts more like in middle school.
Oh, okay.
So I spoke 4 words of English: yes, please, no, and thank you.
Wow. So people thought you were really polite.
Weird. Or what's your accent? No, but I was so eager to learn English. It was a piece of cake.
Wow.
Like it was super easy. And by the time that was grade 4, by the time I was in grade 5 and 6, I won the spelling award 2 years in a row.
Wow.
Because it was like, oh, this is cool. I speak English now.
So now, before we start talking about what you're doing now, did you also go to college, or how did you get into what you're doing now? Were you doing something before?
It had absolutely nothing to do with college.
Okay.
Because I studied French. But no, I
have to introduce you to my aunt. She's French.
Oh, cool.
She loves to converse with people. So.
Well, I would love to converse with her.
There you go.
So yes, I went to college, but when I was in Canada, I modeled for 25 years.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, and during that time, and I did magazine covers and some fashion stuff and catalog and commercials and a lot of print advertising. So then I also did some portrait photography along with that, and some hair and makeup. So those are skills that I learned.
Well, and I knew, I didn't know you were a photographer until I saw something on Facebook, and I was like, hey, come on the show. So that was background that you had too. And where were you based in Canada?
In Toronto.
In Toronto,
Yeah.
Okay. So it wasn't Quebec or?
No, but I did work there as a model, and I did some work in Florida, and had an agency in San Francisco, so I got around.
And so I was thinking the French, so Quebec, right? So
yeah, that was helpful there.
It's dominant there, but they speak English too. So
not a lot of them speak English these days. They really push the French only thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'd love to go someday. So
you would love it.
It's on the plan, right?
Don't go in the winter.
Okay.
Very cold.
I bet.
Yeah.
Like below 40s or 30s.
Oh, just beastly. Let's just say it's beastly.
So tell us what you're doing now. Tell us the name of your company.
Yeah.
And
I'd love to. My company is called the Dating Muse, and I'm a dating and style strategist for men. So what I do is I help single men find and keep their dream girl. So I work with men that they're mostly at the point where they realize they need some help. So they've been married before or had a long relationship, and they're, again, brand new to the dating scene, let's say, 10, 25 years or so since they were married. And
so most of them have been married before?
Married or in a long-term relationship.
Okay.
Yeah. Or they just have been working so hard and they never got the hang of dating. The other segment of guys I work with are the nice guys that have the nice guy syndrome. that, don't get the girl. So I work with them, and they really want to find their dream girl. They don't just want to go out and pick up women. So I don't teach pickup artistry at all. I teach how to kind of change yourself from the inside, take another look at yourself and figure out what didn't work before, because it takes two for every relationship to not work and to work, and how they want to be seen now and how to go forth and attract their dream girl from that point. And so that involves, some kind of coaching work where I talk them through things, a bit of self-discovery, as well as sometimes they need a makeover. But sometimes that's not enough. I teach them body language.
So I'm going to pull up the first slide.
Okay.
I think we're going to pull up several in a row, and tell us about the slide.
Okay. Oh, this gentleman is a business coach. And
I think I may know him.
You
And he's
probably
quite
do.
handsome, actually.
He is.
And he looks so different in the two photos.
Completely. He needed a new shot for business, and I said, let me do this for you. But first, let's clean you up a little. So I kind of gave him instructions, and he brought some clothes that we chose from there. And I mean, look how much more confident he looks there. And dressing like that really attracts more business.
So that's interesting.
Yeah.
And I had actually been thinking, and this is just because of the knowledge of Silicon Valley, it used to be like 5 guys to every woman in Silicon Valley. So I had been thinking before you said what you actually do, that you were working with the tech guys, maybe,
I do.
they're maybe awkward, or they're engineers, or they just don't get out in the dating world, or I was thinking maybe that would be your base, but it doesn't sound like
that is part of my base, and the guys that I work with here are like that. I also work with guys in other parts of the country that aren't in that industry, but here in particular, yes, you're quite right. There's a lot of guys that are a little socially awkward, and they just don't know how to dress.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So take me, first off, how did you get into this business? How did you transition into this?
Well, when I moved here about 9 years ago, coming from Toronto, men are very stylish, and they're just really international, and they seem to be, a bit more adept at dating and social skills. But when I moved here, it's like, what? Just the flip-flops and the shorts and the hairy toes and just the awkward, don't know what to say to a girl or can't look her in the eye or whatever. It's like, okay, let's start with the wardrobe part. So I started with doing just makeovers for them, just to see how that would work, because of course, I've been in the fashion business for so long. And that worked for a while. The guys got more attention, but I realized that they needed to take it a step further, because they still had the same discomfort and, don't know what to say to a girl. They got super nervous sometimes. So I decided to get into coaching, and to that end, I took a ton of training. Not coaching training, but I took training in body language and how to speak better. Get trained for quite a while with Roger Love, who's one of the world's leading vocal coaches. I did some stuff with Bo Eason, who is a movement and storytelling coach. I took some Alexander Tech training from a guy who teaches actors whose names I know everyone who's watching this will know. So people like that I've trained with, just to improve my skills.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And so you just, when you moved here, you saw the need,
Yeah.
and then came up with the idea, which is amazing.
Yeah, because I quit everything I was doing.
And you said 8 years?
Yeah.
You've been doing this 8 years?
No, I haven't been doing 8 years.
Okay.
I kind of quit everything I was doing, sold everything I had in Canada, and just, took some time off to absorb everything here. And then I kind of got restless, like I need to do something, but I don't want to go back to what I was doing. But what do I know that I can use and help people with and have fun with?
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm going to pull up another slide.
Okay.
I'm behind on the slide, so we're going to pull up 2. What a difference, too.
Oh, this
Wow.
is a tech guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
He looks so the outfit looks like the jeans.
Oh my God.
The blue
Yes.
shirt. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And the hair unkempt and everything's baggy and the ripped jeans, like something a teenager might wear minus the jacket.
Well, he kind of looks like a hippie in
Yeah.
one, right? And
Yeah.
he looks very professional and handsome.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, he's hiding under that beard.
I know,
Right?
honestly, this was a single dad with grown children, couldn't get a girlfriend to stick. And I said, we've got to do something about your exterior first. And I mean, look how handsome he is there. Just the whole attitude changes.
Yeah. Okay, we could pull that down too. So how does the service work then?
Well, it depends on what a guy needs. Most guys, by the way, think they look okay. They don't think about their wardrobe so much. Go, oh, I'm fine. She won't. They don't think about what we women think about. So that angle wasn't as interesting to them as is the dating coaching. So, because who doesn't want love in their life?
Right.
No one really wants to be alone, no matter what they might say. They just kind of might say, oh, I'll never get married again. It's like, I beg to differ. If you met the right girl, if you could attract her. So there's different
Yeah,
packages.
once in love,
Yeah.
could love again, right? Is
Of
whatever
course.
the sayings are. But
Everybody wants to be loved and to love. It's just the way we humans are made.